In the last few videos in this video series, I have established the evidence for plate tectonics. I have even shown how the data from plate tectonics correlates with the scientific testing of the age of the islands, and if either one was incorrect, the data itself would not line up so perfectly. I have also shown that the Earth is far older than what the young Earth creationists believe it is by simply presenting the evidence that by itself shows that the age of the Earth is far older than what the young Earth creationists claim it is. And I haven't even yet gotten to the islands and how they were created. Now, I could have given even more evidence that could have further correlated with the evidence that I've already given, such as how we can use the rotation of continents and specific types of magnetic rock as a clock looking back into Earth's history. However, I have presented enough evidence, observable evidence, to show that the plates are moving and that the Earth is old just on what I've presented. Yet whenever talking about plate tectonics, it's necessary to discuss where the new land is coming from and subduction, something NephilimFree denies and was even willing to blatantly lie about. Now, because of what we know about plate tectonics, subduction, and so on and so forth, we're able to explain many different things, such as the earthquake faults, most of the large mountain ranges, how the same rock on one edge of one continent matches that of another continent's edge, and how fossil evidence that shows that the continents had been connected in a particular area at a particular time, even how the world's seafloor is geologically young because of the ocean crust disappearing by subduction. Things that creationists that deny subduction and plate tectonics can't explain without manipulation, lying, or completely ignoring the evidence. And as I've already shown in previous videos in the series, that the planet-wide flood as described by the young Earth creationists in their interpretation of the Bible is scientifically impossible, as it would have resulted in the death of Noah, and as I've also shown is that their interpretation of the Bible is wrong, while showing the consequences of such a biblical interpretation. However, it must be acknowledged that there are some questions about plate tectonics that science has yet to answer, such as what exactly makes those plates move. We have some hypotheses, but we don't know. We don't know when the plates began to move, nor how, or what created the volcanoes in the hotspots that are outside of subduction zones, nor do we know how rigid are the plates and how precise their boundaries are, or how the plates are connected to the Earth's mantle below. So there are unanswered questions about plate tectonics, and this is to the credit of the scientists who admit that they don't have all the answers. If they were just making stuff up, why not just go all the way and make up answers to the currently unanswered questions? If you don't already know, you're probably by now asking, how does plate tectonics works? Where does the new land come from? Where does the land go? Or perhaps you're asking, what is the role that plate tectonics plays when it comes to the creation of the Hawaiian Islands? Well, let's start by watching this clip.
So how do these massive plates actually move? The answer lies deep in the earth, where hot mantle rock rises slowly to the surface by convection. At places like the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, this forces the plates gradually apart. As it cools, it forms new plate. So this is called a constructive plate boundary. In places, molten magma reaches the surface and forms a volcano. Where two plates meet, often at the edge of an ocean, the movement forces one plate underneath the other. The plate is destroyed, so this is called a destructive plate boundary. As one plate is dragged below the other, there is massive friction between them, releasing enough energy to melt the rock and form volcanoes, as well as causing earthquakes. So nearly all the Earth's volcanoes are found at plate boundaries. But some volcanoes don't fit this pattern. They're actually found in the middle of plates. Geologists came up with a new theory. They believe that inside the Earth there are hot spots where hot rocks from near the core rise up through the mantle. Near the surface, these rocks melt, burning through the crust to form volcanoes. As a plate moves slowly across a hot spot, over millions of years, a line of volcanoes forms. One place this is happening is in the middle of the Pacific Plate. Here the volcanic islands of Hawaii are still being formed. The biggest island has 5 volcanoes. One of them is Kilauea, which has been erupting continuously for over 100 years.
So how do we know that new land is actually forming? Well, it comes down to our ability to take measurements, including with GPS, and track the crust as it moves apart, and even is filling in the gaps that are being made as the crust moves apart. Also observations of hot vents spewing forth new material. However, when it comes to subduction, GPS showed the land was shrinking and going somewhere. Yet it could not show us what was happening underground, and even before we could see underground, subduction was a logical conclusion, a conclusion that explained most of the large mountainous ranges, helped us understand earthquakes, which I would love to hear creationists explain how most earthquakes take place without plate tectonics, especially seeing that plate tectonics created a tsunami that killed a lot of people not too long ago. The physics, the math, it was all there, telling us what was actually happening. However, it was not until new technology became available that we were able to look inside the Earth and see subduction happening. Using sound waves generated by earthquakes, we could finally look inside the Earth to see what was really happening. What you're looking at here is a 3D image produced by sound waves on the inside of the Earth. The sound waves have been created by earthquakes. Now the sound waves bounced off of different types of material. The computers read the data of what was going on and produced the different types of colors that you see here, representing the different types of materials, or rocks if you will. You'll notice that the ocean floor has a blue color to it, and you'll see how the ocean floor starts going and dipping downwards into the Earth, just as the theory said it would. However, the reality denialist NephilimFree made the blatantly false claim that such things that we're seeing now are, and he quotes, plumes of volcanic material rising, end quote. And in NephilimFree fashion, he makes the claim without ever backing it up. But then again, he probably thinks he knows more about the equipment than the inventors themselves, or the manufacturers of that equipment, and the scientists themselves who actually use it. Anyways, as we can clearly see, not only can we observe subduction, but the scientists themselves had been able to accurately formulate a theory of subduction before actually being able to observe it.